Hello and welcome everybody. So I'm sorry this isn't a live video, this is a pre-recorded one because I am currently probably at a wedding party, and so I'll be boogieing away and having lots of fun with some of my family and celebrating with them. Anyway, so hello and welcome. If you're new to my channel, this is mainly what I love doing. I love stamping. I love using lots of colours, but sometimes I use a sort of slower palette, not a slower palette, a pared down palette. Sorry, wrong word. So and not, overload with colours. I mean, I love colour, but sometimes it is nice just to rein it in a little bit, especially when stamping perhaps scenic style stamping, which is what I'm going to be doing today. So here we have Grassy Grove and Oceanfront, two very beautiful stamp sets, quite different in terms of style. Here we have a watercolour kind of effect style, and this one is, I would call, a high contrast style stamp. So you've got, this grassy bank, and you've got kind of this lifted high contrast, so that you've got white areas or clear areas as well as the dark silhouetted areas. Anyway, I'm hoping that a combination of these two are going to work really well tonight. So that's that. Then we've got Tahitian Tide, Starry Sky and Orchid Oasis. Oh, bit of glare there. And these are three colours from the current new in colours. So every year Stampin' Up come out with 5 colours that are kind of so-called on trend, and they're really they're just really nice to have, 5 new colours to work with, and also mix and match with the current colours that we have, available to us. So first of all, I'm going to mount these up. Now I've just realised I have put a mat underneath here, but I probably won't need it for the, actually I know I won't need it for my rubber stamping, because my rubber stamps already have that cushioning, so they don't need that. And I probably will start with stamping this one, which does need the mat. And so what I'm going for is a bit of a kind of toile effect design. I've done it quite often in the past. I really love the look of it. It does perhaps lend itself to creating sort of more masculine style cards, and I know it's not Masculine Monday, but it's just really nice to, make something pretty. And oh, I don't know what's attached itself there, but never mind, we'll keep going. Now with this stamp, I find myself always having to check which way round it goes, and you'll see what I mean by this. Basically, there's a lighter side and a darker side, and so for the sake of this pattern today, I want the darker on the bottom. So I'm going to stamp little sections of this, and these are each going to be kind of like their own scene. However, because I know that if this gets cut up into sections, I do want to make sure there's a little scene in every section of my card. So some of these bits are going to be sort of fairly close together. And just, this has reminded me, I've got a little sort of white spot there, I don't know why. Maybe I didn't ink it up properly. Actually, yeah. So when you do ink up, you've got to make sure that you can see that the ink has been applied to every area. I'll stick that on there. And this is fairly juicy ink pad, actually, because it's quite new. So okay, so Tempting Turquoise, that's gone down. So hello everybody who are watching on the live premiere. I will be premiering this so that you can see it and you can chat amongst yourselves for a little bit. So this is now Starry Sky, really gorgeous blue, and I'm just going to move those out of the way. Don't need those for a minute. Oh, and I'm going to sit down. I often do this. I start stamping standing up, and then halfway through the process I'm like, why does my back hurt? Oh, and I've managed to get some ink on there. Okay. All right, so here we are popping some of these lovely grassy florals on here. I'm just aiming for kind of like the bottom section of that blue that I've already put on, and I'm not too worried about getting it perfect. It's just get it on, because at the end of the day we're going to be cutting this up to make cards, so it doesn't really matter if it's not the same all the way around. Now I'm having a look at this and I'm thinking that I probably would see the top of one of these sections just here, so I'm going to quickly add, oh no, hold on, have I got that the right way around? No, that there. But you wouldn't see any of the flowers because that would be out of the shot. So there we go. Then I was thinking of popping some of these trees on here. Grab a big block for that. And I don't know whether to go in with Orchid Oasis for that one, just something a bit lighter, because this is the foreground, so generally things in the foreground tend to be darker than things in the background. So let's just apply some of these pretty trees. And I'm doing second generation, just a little bit further up and across, so 1, 2, there we go. So it looks like we've got some trees there in the background. And I'm hiding the beginning of those trunks with that kind of grassy section. It's not so obvious that they're floating in the air. I don't like floating trees. Okay, this one I'm going to just do stamped off, and there we go. Now this one, I've got to kind of judge what you would see. So you'll see about that amount above the skyline. So go there, stamp off, and then do another one there. Okay, I like that. It's very bold. It's more bold than I thought it would be. I definitely wanted to get my little deer in here, although I'm wondering whether to do the deer separately and have him sort of maybe standing on something. Just have something a bit different. So it's just like a pattern being made. Or have him that way around, as if he's standing in a puddle of water. Not quite sure. Where would he fit? I'm wondering if I actually need to stamp. I feel like I should stamp the deer first so that I know what that looks like, but I'd rather stamp the lighter colour first before the deer. So oh look, I'm getting ink on my arm. Hazards of the job. Okay, I think what I'm going to have to do is try to decide which way around to do this. I think I might just have to have this hovering so I can figure out roughly where I've got to stamp these. Do you see that one? Yeah, I think there would be one up there. I know you're only going to see his legs, but I still think he needs to be up there somewhere. Funny enough, they almost look like clouds. So it is going to be weird to have a cloud with a deer. But, you know, it's a design. We're going for a design. We're not going for a realistic pattern, you know, or not pattern, but a realistic scene. We're creating a pattern that's repeated, so I'm not going to worry too much about my deer floating in the clouds. He's actually quite cute. There we go, little deer. My little deer. Right. You'd see his feet. You might see a foot there, and you might see a foot there. Okay, he is cute. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any like Stampin' Blends in the Tempting, not, I was going to say Tempting Turquoise then, wrong colour, Tahitian Tide. It's because a few years ago we had Tempting Turquoise. But what I'm going to do is get my blender pen, and I'm just going to blend some of this colour into the very, very white areas of the deer, because otherwise he looks a little bit too see-through for my liking. So I'm just gonna actually make him stand out. I mean, I get that this is like the highlighted areas, but there we go. Oh, there we go. Excuse me, excuse me. I feel a bit like, you know, I'm getting personal with the deer there. Right, so what about using some of these? We could have some little tufts of grass, couldn't we? Let's mix and match these stamp sets up. I love doing this. I love showing people that you don't have to just use the stamps from one stamp set one at a time. Okay, if you have got a shelf full of stamps, start pulling them out, start pairing them up together. Sometimes I actually set myself challenges where I number, basically I have my stamps in alphabetical order. And occasionally I will do a challenge where I will get people to call out random numbers, and basically, you know, I just pull out whatever number they correspond with and I have to use them. So yeah, if you fancy setting yourself a challenge to do that, it's quite good fun. Okay, so here I have some quite tightly clustered dots, and I'm wondering whether just to add some more of the turquoisey colour, this Tahitian Tide. I feel like this area is very white at the moment. I even feel like there's a big space there that I need to fill. I think I need to fill this space. Let's fill the space. Yep. I don't know why I keep closing these ink pads. I probably should just keep them open because I've already got 3 of them. Okay. Little blue, little blue. There we go. So incidentally, these blender pens, you can buy 3 of them in a packet, and they're really useful for blending colours on the page. But remember that it's got fluid in it, it's got liquid. So don't go over and over and over the same spot if you can help it. So I'm just adding a few of these, and I'm not really trying to kind of repeat any pattern here. I'm just looking for where I feel that there's a space and there needs to be some of these to help with the design, because it isn't really a symmetrical design that I've done. It's fairly repetitive, but it's, you know, it's a little bit random as well. So what I'm wanting to have happen is not have any massive like white areas. Because, as I said earlier, this is going to get cut up. So when you cut this up into small pieces, you know, you don't really want to have an area that's completely blank. Okay, get in there. Now I am wondering whether this paper would be nice to make into a bag, because then you actually get to enjoy a lot of the whole space there. And I almost feel like I'm just trying to cover up these sort of harsh corners. You see these corners where I've stamped the oceanfront stamp, which is fairly sort of rectangular really, and the way I've stamped it, I've created these right angles, but by just stamping the dottagey stamp there, it just helps to soften it a little bit. So there we go. Yeah, I quite like that. I do. So this has given me an idea. I have done this before using Oceanfront to create some slimline cards. So while I'm here stamping and nobody's come to tell me that dinner's ready, I think I may as well keep going. And I may add some additional colours in a second, but I think what I'll do is just create some fun slimline backgrounds. Now I will bring my mats back in for this bit. So this is again a piece of basic white cardstock, and this is available in packs of 40 sheets, and I highly recommend that you buy this cardstock to stamp on. I say there's a trio of good products you need to have successful stamping. You need good paper that has a very fine, what's the word I want, fibre to it, so that when you stamp you get as little bleed as possible. And often the thicker cardstock that's designed to be your card base does not have as fine a fibre, so you do not get the same results. I do have people saying things like, oh yes, I stamped once, but you know, the results weren't great and I wasn't very good at it. And one thing I do try and check is what sort of paper they used, because that does make a huge amount of difference. Right, so I think I want to stamp a little bit of Orchid Oasis just down in this section here, I think. I'll just do that a couple of times. I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to do that then. Oh, I didn't ink properly. Right, just be aware of that when your stamp is bigger or wider than your ink pad, or it is quite long and you're not concentrating, that when you go to ink it up, make sure that you actually put it all in the stamp pad, because if you don't do it, you end up with a line. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just making it up as I go, as usual. Oh, that's nice. I'll try that one. Oh well, it's a bit of fun. Oh, let's get that out of the way. I've got this nice meadow stamp to go on, and again I'm going to do this with the Orchid Oasis. Okay, that's rather fun. Then we have our trees. I think I'll do that again in the Starry. Oh no, did I do that in the ocean last time? The Orchid last time? I can't remember. Anyway, it's Starry this time. Oh, you can hear the birds outside my window, or door rather. They're very noisy tonight. Oh, isn't that lovely? Love it. Now, I've got to fit a deer in yet. Okay, I think I'm going to grab Night of Navy for the deer, because I want it to be definitely darker. I want it to show up, and the danger is if I use the same colour, it's just going to get hidden. So let's ink this up super duper well with Night of Navy before stamping him down. There we go. He looks good there, doesn't he? And again, I'm going to go in with a blender pen. Because he looks a bit too see-through. Hopefully you can see the difference the blender pen makes. Yep, that's so much better. Because it is weird to see a bit of tree behind him. Or through him, not behind, through. Like through his ears I can see plants. But once it's all blended, it's not as prominent. There we go. Love it. Now, I hope you'll forgive me. I think we need some little birds in the sky. So I'm going to cheat and grab some little birdies from another stamp set. So here I have Mountain Air, which is this beautiful scenic stamp. And got the little birds here. Also got some clouds. That might be quite nice to add as well. But just do in the same colour, do the Tahitian. I don't want to start adding dark clouds to this. I don't think it needs it. So because these are quite stylistic as well, but they're the only clouds I think we have in the current catalogue at the moment. So if anyone can think of any others, let me know. So I hope you're all whittering away at each other on the premiere. If you didn't catch the premiere, then you should be able to see the chat at some point later. But do please leave a comment. Let me know whether or not you like these cards or not. So I've got, oh, now hold on, I've got Night of Navy here. Oh, well, I may as well go for it. I'm going to do some Night of Navy birds, and because it is such a dark colour, I'm able to do second generation stamped away off like that, so it looks like those are further up in the sky. Oh, they're lovely. I think we might just have some on top of the trees, like they're just flying off from the trees. It's quite apt we can hear the birds actually here, though they're not a very pretty sound, are they? Never mind. Oh, love it. Just looking at it to see if it needs anything else. I'm wondering whether to just put a little bit of grass at the front there, like that. Now this is not really strictly what I would call a one-sheet wonder, because it's more like a three card wonder, as in I'm stamping 3 cards in one go, because I'm planning to cut this up and use as they are literally the three designs there. But there's something quite nice about being able to stamp 3 in one go, because it means that if you make a boo-boo with one of them, at least you've got 2 more, and you can also do them all both, oh, sorry, not both, the 3 slightly differently. So that's quite fun to be able to experiment like that. Oh, now I'm doing the grass. I want to do it everywhere now, just to hide the beginning of those tree trunks. Okay, I think I'm going to use this for a card class, because I think the ladies who come to my classes, my in-person classes, are going to love stamping this. And some of them have said they really want to learn some stamping techniques, so this would be really good for them. And I don't think I've ever done this sort of slim line with them. Well, I certainly haven't done it for a while. So okay, so I'm just looking at my stamps to see if there's anything else perhaps I should add. And I am a little bit tempted to do some dottage, but in the turquoise, and just have it sort of around the top of the design, maybe just around the sides a little bit, just as if there's things floating in the sky. Just some additional texture, so it's not so uniform having the 3 blocks there. So again, this is just colour on colour, tone on tone, and it's lovely to see the variation of texture that you can get, because that is a watercolour sort of background. It's not a solid stamp, and you can still see the clouds there, which is really nice. And yes, I know there's sort of lines going through it, but I think the overall effect is effective enough that it looks good. There we go. I think I'm going to finish there. So I will very quickly make up one of these cards just to sort of show you how that would look. I'm not going to cut up the big sheet because, as I said, I want to kind of save that for maybe a bag project. Let's have a measure of where I would cut this. So I'm going to aim sort of through the middle there, like that. And cut a little bit off that side. So where are we at? We've got a looks about 9 centimeters. Oops. Is that cut? Oh, that's a bit odd. I think I'm going to have to cut a little bit more off. Okay, I'm done. Oh no, I keep doing that. I keep scoring it instead of cutting it. Okay, so I'm doing it at 8.5 centimeters, which is about 4 1/4 inches. And then I'm going to take off a section here. I'll take off 1/2 centimetre there. I think I'll take off 1/2 centimetre there as well. Oh, little space for my signature there. I don't ever sign my cards, actually. Don't know, this one feels like it could take a signature. It's so artsy. So I'm looking for, oh, where's my cardstock gone? Oh, there it is. I've gone with a darker Starry Sky because it's so pretty. So, what did I say? 8.5. 8.5. So I'm going to score my cardstock at 9 centimeters, like so. Fold it in half, pop it in, cut at 9 again. Oh, and then just need to double check where I need to cut this. So I just need to cut, I think it's just 1/2 centimetre off the bottom. And then we'll have a really nice border, nice thin border going all the way around the card. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you found it inspirational and that you will have a go doing some sort of scenic stamping with repeat of a background such as the one in Oceanfront. And it is a really useful stamp set for scene building. Oh, I just had a blob of glue come out there. Let's see if I can move that glue around. So if that happens, just get a scrap bit of paper and move it around a bit, because it's better to have the glue sort of spread out along the way, not all in one place. So, and it doesn't have to be right at the edge either, because the glue does spread once you've got it in place, and you've got 3 to 5 seconds wiggle room to move it. Then once it's in place, you can then give that a really nice rub. Now I'm just aware that my little dear here, where I use the blender pen, it has gone a bit faint and pale, so just grabbing a little bit more colour from my ink pad. Actually, that's Starry Sky, not Night of Navy. Oh well. Right, I'm turning my deer into a proper silhouette now, rather than just a slightly detailed one. Ooh, let's see if this will work. Oh well, if this doesn't work, you'll know just to leave it alone. I just felt it needed a bit of darkening up. Oh, there we go. I think his legs are fine. It was just that that sort of head and the body went a bit weird. I might have just applied too much of the blender pen and made it go too watery, because let's see on this one. This one's not so bad. Yeah. There we go. Put his nose back on, that's what I've done. Okay, so let's just do a quick recap then. So in terms of colours, we used 4 colours, mainly the Tahitian Tide, Orchid Oasis and Starry Sky. Where's my other one gone? Oh, there it is. So to start off with, so ignore Night of Navy for a sec. So to start off with, I just stamped Oceanfront, the really big one there, in various places on my paper, and then stamped the flower meadow, as I like to call it, at the base. Then added some trees, and then stamped this one here, the sort of long thin one, as a little bit of a base for my deer to stand on, and then added some little bits of foliage, and then also the very dense dottage stamp there, just to soften some of the corners that are happening here. Then for this one, we did a bit of a triple card making session here, stamping 3 in one go. And again use the Tahitian Tide, the Orchid Oasis and the Starry Sky, but the addition of Night of Navy to stamp the deer and some of the foliage. Oh, or no, what do you call that foliage? No, they're sort of like grassy tufts in there, and then added a little bit more ink just to darken that up again. So there we go. Let me know what you think I should make out of this, and I hope to see you guys very soon. I should be on my way back from the wedding Thursday morning / afternoon, so I should be able to go live Thursday evening. So sorry I wasn't able to make it live, but I hope you've enjoyed tonight, guys. So thanks for the thumbs up, as I'm sure quite a few of you do give me thumbs up without asking. But if you do have enjoyed yourself, then please do give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. And if you're new to the channel, please say hi. I love welcoming new people to the viewing community, the Artful Stamping community. All the links are in my description if you need to either contact me, shop with me, or maybe you're interested in a class. All the information is there. Well, the information to contact me is there. Okay, lots of love everyone. Take care. Bye.